Good evening and welcome to our November board meeting. Thank you all for coming. I call this meeting of the Bastrop Independent School District to order. Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Please stand and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas pledge.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Remain standing, please. Ask Trustee Munchnick to lead us in a word of prayer.
Please bow your head. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we give our special thanks to you for bringing us together here on this beautiful, crisp evening. Lord, to celebrate all the accomplishments that you have blessed this district with and our staff as well as our students. Heavenly Father, we ask that you please give us wisdom here tonight to make the best decisions possible. And we ask that you please grant us safety on our way home. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
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 Thank you. I'd like to ask Marissa Simmons to come forward, please. A little bit about Marissa before she gets up. She's a 10th grader at Cedar Creek High School. Tonight she's going to speak on the November character trait of compassion. Marissa is involved in youth and government, is a cheer manager, and loves helping others. If her parents are here, Steve and Nancy, would you be recognized, please? Thank you for coming, ma'am. Okay, Marissa, it's all yours.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today I would like to talk to you about compassion. Now, the dictionary defines compassion as a feeling of deep sympathy and sorrow for others who are stricken by misfortune, and a feeling of being compelled by a strong desire to alleviate the suffering of others. I believe that this trait is very important, especially for this month, because 'tis is the season for giving. It's the holiday season. Everyone starts feeling inclined to help out with others, help out with one another, come closer to family. But it's not just about that. And it's not just about caring for others one time of the month. Compassion is something that's in us all, and it's something that should be displayed every day. Every day we should care for those who are less fortunate, and every day we should recognize how fortunate that we are ourselves. On top of that, I feel that compassion is something that in today's society is not exactly, recognized as greatly as it should be. Sometimes we hear about the stories of the kids fighting cancer and stuff like that, and how one person is trying to help alleviate their pain with just a little gift or something like that. But it doesn't just take the one person or one gift. It takes us all, and all together we have compassion. Thank you.
Great. Very well done, Marissa. Now we were going to go to some introduction of our students. Mr.
Yes,
Murray.
thank you. As we do each month, we're so happy to have some of my Student Advisory Council members sitting in advisory to the school board. I've said this many times, I want to say it again. I really thank and honor our school board because I believe we are one of the only, if not the only, district in the state of Texas that is allowing board students to sit in advisory to the board. We've got 3 students with us tonight. We've got Jake Namkin, he's a junior at Bastrop High School. Michelle Bainwright, she's also a junior at Bastrop High School. And Hannah Thompson, who's a sophomore at Cedar Creek High School. And I'm going to ask them real quick to say a little bit about SSAC, how long they've been on there, and what they feel like they've gotten out of that. And then you might have some other questions asked of you by the board members later on or now. But we're going to put you on the spot right now and let you. You've never been shy with me, so I don't want you to be shy now. Especially you, Hannah. You're never shy. So, Hannah, tell us a little bit about SSCC and what you're getting out of it.
I don't need a mic, but thank you. Our council, as most of most everyone knows, we meet once a month. We discuss things that are wrong with their school, things that can be improved. Recently, we got mirrors to keep people from getting run over by our football team. That's been great. We really do improve things no matter how long they take at central office.
Thanks, Hannah, I appreciate it. It's an inside joke, it just became an outside joke.
Don't worry, Mr. Murray, they'll never know. This is my second year on the council. I was honored as a freshman to come in, and I was honored to be invited back. I am very happy with the things that we've been able to do for our school.
Thanks, Hannah. Jake?
Hi, I'm Jake Niepkin, and I'd just like to say it's always an honor and it's always a privilege to be invited back and be on the Superintendent Student Advisory Council. And it allows students to get a voice, and it's just not your voice. You're wanting to help out to the whole BHS, freshmen through seniors. You just want to help out, and if they have any concerns, problems, you just want to try to fix that and help them out in any way you can. And that's what we get to do when meeting with Superintendent Murray every month, and it's always fun.
Thanks, Jake. Michelle?
I've been on for 3 years now. I'm a junior, and it's been a really great experience. Not only is it a way for us to sort of come out of our shells and be able to take a little bit of initiative to solve problems that we find in our school, but also it helps a lot with our communication with other students that aren't in the thing, and like talking to my friends, thinking about things that they think the school can do better. And we have definitely made some changes, like we improved the quality of the school, we improved the quality of how people teach, and I think it's a very good thing of what we do.
Thanks, Michelle. Appreciate it. I know we might ask during the agenda, do the board members have any questions for our SSAC members at this time?
Right now.
Sure. Hannah, what do you feel is the top priority of Cedar Creek High School for y'all's committee?
Overall, we're working on the communication between teachers and students. Our teachers try their best, and we appreciate all of their efforts, but we are not being told all the information we need.
I'll open a little bit. Y'all started doing the open electronics, basically with teachers and things like that last year at the campus. Is that what have they presented at the campus? Their
Well, I personally don't know too much about that, so I'm going to throw it over to Jake.
Good job.
All right. Well,
Good pass.
Well, our open technology, using our devices in class, I think it's been really successful by doing that. It just allows us, sure, every now and then students are going to have a problem, with having your device out at the wrong time, but I think it's very beneficial because, it allows us to get quick information we need for class, and anything to help us out, like a study aid, and it also benefits by saying to the teacher, she's helping another student, and if we just pull it out, then it can help us more easily as well.
Yeah, I appreciate Billy asking that question because that actually originated in the Student Advisory Council. For a couple of months, they were telling me that, we need better access, Mr. Murray. We need to, break down some of the filters. We understand why the filters are there for our safety, but there's some things we can't access as far as information for our classes and whatnot. And that was, again, originated in the council, and then we're able to get that to our technology folks and make a few changes. So I appreciate you asking that question.
And just not to forget about Bastrop High School, Jake, what do you feel is top priority there for the year?
The top priority we've been discussing for a couple months is the criteria of how teachers are teaching in their ways. Same as Cedar Creek, of course, and every teacher is different the way their criteria is, and a couple teachers just their teaching methods aren't ideal to majority of the students, and we're just we mention that pretty much every meeting, and we see multiple changes that occur, and I can tell they're getting a lot better.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all, for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Now let's go to special recognitions. We'll start with fine arts and then go to athletics.
yeah, we're gonna get Stacy to help us. We've got a lot of recognition tonight, which we love to do, and we've got a bunch of it tonight. Thanks, Stacy.
Thank you so much. Good evening, members of the board and Mr. President and Mr. Superintendent. It gives me great pleasure to be here tonight to bring some recognition to something that's very, very near and dear to my heart. After almost 30 years of service to our students and our Bastrop community, BAFA, the Bastrop Association for the Arts has decided to pass the torch on of their distinguished legacy to the art teachers of BISD. And along with that, they've donated to our district the remainder of their operating funds, which is a very substantial amount, in order to benefit our students and our art teachers and to continue the legacy that they've created. So on the behalf of the district and our Board of Trustees and our superintendent, our teachers and our students, I'd like to take a moment to recognize you guys. BAFA and your most recent board, they've had I was reading their website, they've had hundreds of board members over the years, but I've got the most recent one here with us tonight. We just would like to recognize you for your years of service to our district. Very quickly, I just wanted to show you a couple of things. Maybe if Betsy will let me. Aha. Bastrop Association of Arts, you've seen it all over our community. It stands for BAFA. They were inspired by a beautiful local Texas artist, Porfirio Salinas, who was known for his beautiful works of depicting bluebonnets in our Texas landscape. From that came all kinds of wonderful things, but the most precious gift they gave our district was the Salinas Youth Art Contest, which has been established since 1986, and ever since then they've implemented it into our district and into the lives of our children. So after I know you've probably seen the beautiful art that's displayed all over the community during the time that usually circa April-ish. It'll be all over, and it'll be it lands in the pack at this time, and we award those kids and honor all those kids for their participation. So over the years, they have extended their goodness. They've honored students. They've recognized students. They have given countless scholarships so that our students can continue their education in the arts. And most importantly, they've inspired our children to be creative and to be well-rounded citizens. If I might indulge just for one quick second, I had to show this. These group of people have had such an impact on my life and my two children. And as some of you may know, we lost our home in the Bastrop fires. And when we were going through the rubble, we found a few things that were really significant to us, and my son found this. And he's kept it, and I made him give it to me tonight. Because through all the things that we lost, we had some memories of some beautiful moments. Now my son got this when he was like in 2nd grade, and I thank you for that. And he almost wouldn't let me bring it because he was afraid I'd break it. But just so you know, you've touched so many lives, and we proudly will carry on your legacy. BISD, thanks you for everything. So, all I have to do now is just hand y'all some flowers, so if y'all could step up here real quick. I have here with me today, I have Mr. Tommy Vasquez, who is actually a legacy and of Mr. Porfirio Salinas. So we have the legacy and board member Tommy Vasquez here today. If we could give him a hand. I can't find his flower. There. And I have, you'll come on up. And I have Miss Jean Levering, who's also been very involved in our district. They're all here. I just don't know where I laid them all down. And I have Miss Susie Serrett, who has been involved in it since the very beginning. Sherry Gilmore, who has also been involved in our district as well. And Patty Green, who we have not quite let go of yet. Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you very much. Oh, guys, Guys.
Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you, Stace.
Mr. Willoughby?
We'll be out. Buttoned up.
Mark that.
Yeah, he's there.
There he is.
Mr. Murray, ladies and gentlemen of the board, thank you for this opportunity to share and promote the outstanding accomplishments of the student athletes of BISD. Just as all students, these students making an effort to excel in the classroom and beyond, and spend countless hours at practice, traveling for games, and also maintaining their grade point out averages and eligibility status. So tonight we'd like to recognize, beginning with our BHS team tennis, our tennis team coming in, coached by Ms. Kristen Parnell and Coach Robert Morris. And Mr. Jake Nampkin is a part of that team, and also sits on the Superintendent Student Advisory Council. The Bears tennis team finished second place, district runner-up in District 26-5A, and they qualified for the area tennis meet. With us tonight are Gabby Morales, Ashley Westbrook, Betsa Vallejo, Kate Rodriguez, and Brenda Sanchez, Jake Nampkin, Isai Espinosa, Brian LeBlanc, and Jeffrey Whitworth. The Bears hosted a powerful Dripping Springs team in the area meet, came up a bit short, but certainly continued the tradition of qualifying for that area round. So I give to you the VHS tennis team.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we're going to get the pictures right outside. Bringing in now the Cedar Creek High School cross country team. The Cedar Creek cross country team is coached by head coach Stephen Morales, who happens to be in China right now, working through the adoption process for his new son. So he's I know he's heavy into that paperwork, but here in his stead is the assistant coach, Mr. Chris Fisher. The varsity girls were District 26-5A champions this past year. The girls also held 4 of the top 10 places at that meet, and they qualified for the regional meet in San Antonio. The varsity boys were the District 26-5A runner-up team, and they held 3 of the top 10 places out of that meet. And especially so, Mr. Michael Vallejo, or Michael, was crowned the district champion with a time of 16:19, a 16 minutes, 3 miles in 16 minutes. And the boys cross-country team qualified for the regional meet in San Antonio as well. They had a strong running, and they continue to improve. This group, this is just a portion of that group. They're up to 29 to 32 kids strong. So it's a strong program. They're getting better every year, and we're glad to acknowledge them tonight. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
3 miles. I can't even remember.
Next, we bring in the Bastrop High School cross-country team. Bastrop High School cross-country team is coached by head coach Ms. Kim Miller. The varsity boys were the District 26-5 champions for this cross-country season. And that team qualified for the regional meet in San Antonio. The varsity girls finished 4th in District 26-5A and sent 2 girls to compete at the regional meet. With us tonight is Ms. Margaret Brook, who qualified for regionals, but but she was also selected to the all-region team and qualified for the state meet, finishing
Awesome.
ninth. She finished ninth out of the region of individual runners, and that's the entire South Texas area, with a time of 20 minutes and 16 seconds. No. She qualified for state. She went to state, competed in Round Rock with the state group, and finished 53rd out of 150 kids. So in the top third, that's outstanding. And her time is 20 minutes and 16 seconds. The most accomplished thing that should be recognized out of this group, as well as our others, 12 academic all-district selections off of this cross-country team, and an academic all-state nominee, Sam Boswell. So
Congratulations.
I would like to recognize the Cedar Creek High School volleyball team. The Lady Eagles are coached by head coach Jason Lehman and assisted by Ms. Victoria Dudgeon, Ms. Suzanne Lacey, and Ms. Elizabeth Hall, who are off on their other assignments. The CCHS volleyball team finished with an overall record of 22-20, which is quite an accomplishment for such a young program. They finished tied for third in District 26-5A and advanced to the bi-district round of the playoffs for the first time in school history.
Nice.
The group boasts of 9 academic all-district selections off of their team of 10 throughout the year, but then they added some for the playoffs. But 9 out of 10 girls were academic all-district. We also have an academic all-state nominee, Caitlin Opperman. Caitlin, where are you? The district coaches recently held their superlative selections, and we have the co-defensive MVP of District 26-5A in Lexi Barnett. Coach Lang has done an outstanding job with this group of girls. They as well continue to grow and get stronger, and we look forward to a lot of success out of this group of young ladies. Thank you very much.
Awesome job.
Total's in that group. Total girl. She's not in with them right now, but she's in that group.
And now we have the
She's a
Bastrop
bomb.
High School
She's a
volleyball team
sophomore.
coming in. And while they're coming in, just to let you know, Cedar Creek lost in the first round of the playoffs to Dripping Springs, who is one of the final 4 teams in the state playoffs as we speak. They'll start their tournament on Thursday. So they played an outstanding match, and to know that team is still playing, it really motivated us. Now we have the Lady Bears coming in. Lady Bears are coached by head coach Ms. Nicole Creek, assisted by Carrie Champagne, Alexia Dyer, and Teresa Morgan. They boast of an overall record of 31 wins and 12 losses. And anytime you can post 30 wins, 30-plus wins in a volleyball season, it's outstanding. And they did a great job with that. Their district record was 6-2, and they were the District 26-5A runner-up. They advanced to the bi-district round of the playoffs for the first time as well in the extended history of Bastrop High School. So that was a great job. 12 academic all-district selections, 12 out of 14. 4 academic all-state nominees, Mia Blankenship, Ashley Alhorn, Macy Cana, and Ruby Callahan. That's quite The academic all-state nominees had to have maintained an A average from their freshman year.
Wow.
So that's outstanding. We also had so Cedar Creek had co-defensive MVP, and the other co to that is our very own Ms. Jordan Pratt, co-defensive MVP. The Bears also have the most valuable offensive player in Ms. Lily Carter. And I'm happy to say that both of those 2 young ladies, recognized at the district level, were also 2 of the all-state nominations for all-state recognition, Laura Alicia Carter and Jordan Pratt.
Congratulations, lady.
Thank you.
behalf of the district coaches and staff, we continue to thank you for your continued support and recognition of our student athletes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
All right. Now we're going to move to our segment of open forum. The board does encourage comments from our citizens of the district. Anyone wishing to speak, either as an individual or representative of a group, may do so at this time. I will call your name. The board asks that your comments be no longer than 3 minutes. And remember, the board may not discuss or act on any issues that are not posted on the agenda. I read that out of courtesy because there's some citizens that wonder why we don't reply, and it's because we can't. So we're not being rude. Anyway, I'd like to start with Tony McDonald.
Thank you for allowing me to speak this evening. I am the attorney for Pine Forest Investments Group. I was asked to come and speak here by Robert Leffingwell because the Pine Forest Unit 6 issue is on the agenda for this evening. And I spoke with Noe Reyes, your attorney, earlier today and got his permission to come and speak to you. Mr. Leffingwell wanted me to give you our position in terms of the legal issues involved with Pine Forest Unit 6. As you all are well aware, last year in October, there was a lawsuit. I wasn't involved in that. Well, I was involved in that litigation on behalf of the Pine Forest Property Owners Association, but I didn't represent PFIG at the time. And a court ruled that there was not jurisdiction to review the case. What's important about that is that that judge never reached the merits of the contract between the ISD, the county, the city, and PFIG. And so there remains this situation of limbo in which there is a contract between the parties and a lack of a remedy for that contract. As we get into the legislative session that starts in January, that situation could potentially change. The legislature has the authority to allow specific relief for this case or some broad relief that would apply generally for our position. Generally speaking, our position is that there is a contract, that PFIG has a property interest in Unit 6, has an interest and does want to continue forward with developing those lots, both for the benefit of this school district, for the taxpayers here, but more importantly for all of the lot owners in that area who have no relief at this time. And it's our hope that there may be some resolution that could be achieved to the benefit of all the parties. I believe Mr. Leffingwell is going to speak and can talk a little more about what the position is from PFIG's perspective. But I just wanted to let y'all know that is our legal perspective on the matter. And I can't speak directly with you all without your attorney's permission, but if you'd like to speak with me further about it, please speak with Mr. Reyes. I'm sure he can direct you to my contact information, and we can clear these issues up. Thank you.
John Gardner.
Pardon my appearance. I didn't know anything about this meeting until about 45 minutes ago. I'm the president of the Pine Forest Property Owners Association. And I want to make clear that the 6 independent directors of that association, Mr. Leffingwell is obviously conflicted on this issue. We have only 2 objectives. One is to represent and get a decent exit for the vacant lot owners. What happens is these people get tired of paying the taxes, the WCID fees, the Property Owners Association dues. The only way they can get out of it is go into foreclosure. Many of them have done that. You have the list. There are well over 400 lots now. We've checked the foreclosure files for other reasons. No, and I can talk about that a little later. But it ends up costing them $4,500 when you add in the taxes that are due, the penalties, the legal fees. The only way they can get rid of these lots, they can't sell them. They're unmarketable. There's a building freeze out there. Now, we, the homeowner association, have collected a lot of dues from these people over the past years, and we have a duty to represent them. There are about 220 of them. And our involvement was very much limited to trying to come up with a financing mechanism. I know there have been a lot of complaints about the CC&Rs. People simply don't understand them, and they don't come to me and ask me what they really mean. Let me tell you something. The only significance of the CC&Rs and the only restrictions in Article 3 of those CC&Rs apply to someone who wants to use our assessment power. If you're going to use our assessment power, you got to follow our rules because we're fiduciaries and we have to assess very carefully. The only way we can assess a lot, $20,000, is if we are reasonably sure that they're going to be able to sell it later for $35,000. And that was, in fact, the case in this development. It was a long process. Mr. Leffingwell had relatively little to do with it. The authorship of these CC&Rs was entirely my doing, and with the consent and review of the other board members. If a developer comes along that you like, who has $5 or $10 million, they don't need our assessment value powers, and there's nothing in there to block them from doing residential development in that. We can't block them. Article 3 simply goes away. If they don't need our assessment power, it has absolutely no authority to do anything to anybody. Now, they have to answer to our Architectural Control Committee, but they're pretty soft and easy to deal with. So I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about that. And the other thing that people don't seem to quite get is the fact that my predecessor signed that agreement. We don't have governmental immunity. We're bound by that agreement for at least the period of the statute of limitations, which is 4 years. It has another 2 years to run. The one sticking point about development that, again, nobody seems to understand is this. 50 or so of those lots, no, I think it's, what, 80 lots? Anyway, it doesn't matter. All of those lots that the city and the county want to develop as commercial are deed-restricted residential only. And the only way that restriction can be lifted is if the Property Owners Association amends the CC&Rs to lift that restriction. We would be happy to do that for virtually anybody. We can't do it for 2 years, as I've explained. But we want a decent exit for those.
Close for me, please.
Yeah, for our property owners. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Robert Leffingwell.
I'd like to give you a brief history of how this project came about. In 2006, John Kramer came to me representing the City Council, asking me to help him do this project. We've worked on it since then. John worked on it about 15 years and couldn't get anywhere. It's a very complicated project. The most difficult thing to do with this project is getting the funds to do that. When we got down, and I believe, Mr. Allen, that you were a president of the board when this was signed, or was that Ty McDonald?
Maybe Ms. McDonald.
We did that. We got the contract from the BISD and had the 5 other trustees sign it, including PFIG. After the signing of the contract, and that was for 262 lots. We were required under the contract to place $24,000 in escrow with the title company, which was Bastrop Abstract. We did that. We completed that on October 5th of 2012. We went to the development agreement at the city of Bastrop, and the only requirement of the contract was to get the development agreement approved by the city, and we did that. And it was an agreement that we gladly signed. It was really favorable to everybody. The development agreement had one requirement, to have the effective date of the contract, and that was to do a drainage study. We did a drainage study that covered 842 acres of property. It went from 21 all the way to the river. No drainage study had ever been done, and that's required by law to file and record a subdivision. And we agreed to do that, and we did that. We turned that in on December 13th to the city planner, and you had signed off on it. PFIG later in that year, in November and December, I ran into Noe Reyes, who's the attorney for the taxing authority, and Noe Reyes discussed why we weren't closing lots. Well, we weren't closing lots because we couldn't get clean titles. Bastrop Abstract gave us 4 titles, and all of them had the statement in the contract that these titles had the invalidity of the foreclosure, improper foreclosure, and he wouldn't give us a clean title policy. In order to pay for the lots, and under our contract we had to pay for all 262, we had to have clean titles. That's the collateral for the money. And that's the last paragraph on the first page of the contract. We completed let me back up. I met with Noe Reyes at an election that was held that day. I met with him that night. He said, when are you going to start closing lots? I said, we have some titles that we're working on right now. And he said, well, let's close a few at a time, but that requires an amendment to the contract. So we worked on that. Joe Grady Tuck, our lawyer at the time, worked with us on getting an amendment.
Work on closing.
Huh?
Can you work on closing for me? 3 minutes.
Okay, all right, I will. Well, we went through that process, couldn't get clean titles. We have since gotten the title issue worked out ourselves, which was the obligation of the seller. We are prepared at this time to pay you for all the lots you have in trust cash. We have the title issue worked out, which was not our problem, but we've done that. We can close all of them. When that happens, you guys are out of the program. You don't have any more to do with this project. We're prepared to do that, and we're prepared to do it in a very short period of time. That information we tried to get to y'all, and that's why I'm here tonight. We want to buy the lots. We want to go forward with the project. I had John Kramer here, president of the POA. There's a lot of conversation going on about this project that isn't right.
Well, we really appreciate your comments. I'm going to have to move on to the next person.
All right, good deal.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Miss Rebecca Bennett.
Good evening. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, Mr. Superintendent, my name is Rebecca Bennett and I represent the Bastrop Federation of Teachers. We are the local affiliate of the 1.6 million member American Federation of Teachers, and we represent more than 65,000 public school employees in Texas. I'm here tonight to talk about the recent district court decision finding the Texas school funding formula unconstitutional. Of course, our organization has presented on this issue before, but I want to be clear that it is even more urgent now with the legislature set to meet to send a strong message on school finance. The Texas Constitution requires the state to provide a free and effective system of public schools for all our children. The district court decision found, however, that our school funding formula leaves our schools underfunded, inequitable, and a burden to local taxpayers, all in clear violation of the Texas Constitution. Texas public schools are still receiving $600 less per pupil in real inflation-adjusted funding than they did in 2008. This is a reality that I know this district and many others feel acutely in which only our state legislators have the power to fix. I am therefore asking you, members of the Bastrop School Board, to pass a resolution calling on the state representatives of this district to act without further delay to address the ongoing crisis. Our school children shouldn't have to wait any longer for the state to do what's right, fix this problem, and fund their education adequately and equitably as required by law. The state economy is booming. Lawmakers have the money, if they have the will, to give our students the education they deserve. Tonight I have for you a draft resolution to this effect. In the coming months, AFT representatives will be presenting this draft resolution to hundreds of other school boards around the state to build real momentum around this issue. On behalf of the Bastrop Federation of Teachers, I implore this school board to set a precedent and pass a resolution to our area representatives demanding that the legislature provide adequate and equitable school funding without further delay. Thank you very much for your time and attention.
Thank you. Now we're going to move on to actually our public hearing on goals for the improved requirement campuses. We had a public hearing at our agenda meeting on Thursday. So we're going to roll over that unless any board members have any additional comments or questions for Sandra. If not, we'll move on to the superintendent's reports, and we'll start with the financial report.
We have Nathan Krepke with Belton Harris Pahachek here to present the audit for the 13-14 school year and also take action on that audit. It's the first action item to approve the audit for this year.
Good evening. I'm just going to go over a couple pages within your financial report and be happy to answer maybe any questions that you might have. Within your financial report on page number 5, you'll find what is called the Independent Auditor's Report. This is why you have hired us as your auditor to provide our opinion of your financial statements, and what you'll find there in the multiple paragraphs is what we call an unmodified report, which means we're giving you the highest level of assurance as auditors that your financial statements are free of material misstatement and that they have all the required disclosures as required by generally accepted accounting principles. It's a lot of technical jargon to basically say that we're giving you the best assurance that we can give you as your auditor that everything is in good working order. And so that's good news for the district. On page number 25, you're going to find essentially your income statement for the district. And on this page, you'll note that the district had, in the far left column in your general fund, total revenues of $73 million, total expenditures of $73 million, which left you with an ending fund balance of $16 million. One of the things that we look at your ending fund balance is comparing it to your total expenditures for the year to determine how many months of expenditures you have in your fund balance. And in this case, when we run that calculation, it comes to about 2.5 months worth of 2.5 months worth of fund balance or of expenditures in your fund balance. And TA recommends that you have between 2 and 3 months, which is right in the recommended range of where you all are at. And so commend you for that and would encourage you to continue watching closely your finances. And if you can increase that fund balance, that would be all the better, especially with school finance being what it is. And finally, on the last page I'm going to look at is page number 81, which is basically a summary of our audit results. One of the things that we're required to look at is our different major programs or major funds that you have within the district as a result of the federal funding that you receive. And we're just happy to report that we had no findings as it relates to that. And so we just appreciate the opportunity to perform the audit for the district. Would be happy to answer any other questions that you might have at this time.
Anybody have any questions? Several of us were in the financial meeting, and we got our questions answered there. Does anybody else have any? David, Matt? Appreciate the thumbs up.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead and look for a motion.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded to approve the annual audit report for BISD. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. We'll now turn it back over to Sandra on the bond rating and bond sale. Is that for information?
Just wanted to give a little information. As you know, we had brought a resolution or a bond order to have a bond refunding that took place a couple of weeks ago. We had a savings of $1.499 million, almost $1.5 million on those $8 million worth of bonds at a 2.5% interest rate, which was more than we had actually hoped for when we brought it to the board. So that was great news. And the other good news we had during that time was an upgrade to our bond rating. With Standard & Poor's, we were an A plus, and we've actually moved to a AA minus, which is great to be in the AA category. It's great news. It saves us money on our bonds, interest rates, and so we were just very pleased about that. We've had an article, I think Donald put something out on that in a press release, so that's just great news for the district and just for the overall economy of Bastrop that things are looking good. So just wanted to bring that to you and share that information. So
Thanks, Sandra.
It's good news. Good news. Now we will talk about Quad C with our high school principals. Or did I jump the gun? No?
No.
Okay.
Hello. What now?
You want to hold the mic?
Sure, why not?
There you go.
Thank you so much. I'm short, so I can't reach. Good evening, school board members, Mr. Murray. It is our pleasure for Dr. Hewitt and I to introduce our associate principals. They're going to do a presentation on our Quad C program. Our Quad C program started in the 2012-13 school year, and it was a wonderful vision by our leader, Mr. Murray, and we were privileged to be able to interview students at the 8th grade level at both feeder middle schools and introduce them to a program that these ladies are going to describe for you. But I was a part of that process, and the work that I've seen both of our associate principals do towards accomplishing this program and the needs of the students is truly impressive to the benefit of our students. So our associate principal at Cedar Creek High School is Miss Tammy Underwood, and she's going to be with us today, and I will I will ask Dr. Hewitt to please introduce his associate.
It's allow. Thank you, Lila. Appreciate that. I'm new to Quad C, but what I can tell you, being in education for 18 years, it's an incredible vision and an opportunity for kids to experience learning at that level, and we have excellent teachers at BHS making it happen. And so without further ado, this is Liz Wysocki, our associate principal at BHS, and these two will be tag teaming. Awesome duo here.
Thank you so much. So good evening, board and Mr. Murray. It's really a pleasure to be here this evening to share a little bit with you about what we're doing with our Quad C program. The vision is definitely there. Ms. Wysocki and I spent the day on college visits with our kiddos, and so if our hair's not great, it's because we were running around with kiddos all day, and it was really an amazing experience to be with them. So we're going to go through some data and information. We're going to talk about our programming benefits, and we're going to talk about what we're going to do as we move forward. So Quad C is a program that was developed here in BISD for our students, and it allows them to take the pre-AP and the AP and the ACC dual credit courses, but it allows them to do it in a cohort of students just like them. So these students were picked out of a group from the middle schools. That happened before Ms. Wysocki and I were part of the program, but we've picked it up and moved forward with it. It allows them to get up to 36 college hours of credit before they even graduate, before they even walk across the stage for graduation. It helps them to be in a group of teachers who know them, who understand them, and who get to know them. It helps them to learn about servant leadership, and I think we saw some really nice experiences with that today, being on college campuses and having our students interact with other students on college campuses today to understand what their mission is and what they're all about being at college. It's really helped us to create that college-going culture for these kiddos. And that's what we did today, is we visited those colleges, and we have more planned in January.
So some of the benefits of the Quad C program are, like Tammy said, friendships and collaboration. That's one of the greatest benefits that the students are saying. They really appreciate being with this cohort for the entire 4 years. They've improved their reading, writing, and speaking skills through the unique college prep courses that they're taking in their classes. They have stronger organizational time management skills. The teachers that are teaching those college prep courses are going through the skills that they're going to need in college, so that's very helpful. And again, up to 36 college hours tuition free, which I think we calculated at over $10,000. So this really is a benefit to the students. They're getting technology support with Chromebooks. We also, again, the college visits, they're having study groups and tutoring support to support those ACC classes that they're taking right now. And we're finding that they're increased in motivation and confidence, that they now see college as a real possibility. When we were walking through the campuses today, I heard many of my students say, you know, I can see myself walking here. That's great to hear them say that.
So I'm going to walk us through our 4-year plan. For the ninth grade, our students have already gone through the ninth grade. We're currently working with our 10th and 11th graders on our campus. So these are the courses that they took as ninth graders. And then moving on to 10th grade, our kiddos are sitting in, do you have the, there we go. Our kiddos are sitting in these classes right now. The math classes are a little bit different for each of our children, depending on whether or not they took algebra in middle school or not. And they do have the opportunity to take either a pre-AP or an AP world history. Some of them are on their third foreign language. But the really nice part of this program is we've been able to keep our kiddos in because it allows them that elective. They can still play athletics. They can still be in the band. They can still do those things that they love to do, that they're passionate about, but also be involved with their cohort. 11th grade. Moving forward, this is where our 11th graders are sitting right now, and our 10th graders will move up into this. 11th graders are taking the ACC US history classes as well as the comp classes this fall, and they'll take them again in the spring. This summer, they'll take government, Texas government, and visual arts. And then moving forward into their senior year, they'll take the Brit Lit, which is the third ACC class, but just by taking that one Brit Lit class, it does act as a full English 4. And then they'll take their AP math options if they were able to take Algebra 1 in the middle school. And what we did find out is we're actually pulling students out of their class one by one at Cedar Creek High School and talking to them in the learning community and going over their individualized 4-year plans, because they have become individualized because of the classes they may have taken in middle school. And we're finding that actually some of my students will graduate with 32 credits from high school if they took classes in middle school, and that's 26 is required. So it's pretty nice.
So now we're going to share with you some of the data from the past year, some STAR scores that our Quad C students, we're comparing them with the pre-AP and the overall students and their semester averages and year averages. So what you're looking at right here are the Bastrop high school students. These were the 9th graders from last year, they're current 10th graders. The students that sat in Algebra 1 and took the Algebra 1 EOC, they scored 80% compared to 88% of overall, but they were neck and neck in level 3, scoring 6%. Going on to our English 1 STAR EOC, these are also the current 10th graders. And as you can see, I'm not going to read every graph here, but level 2, they did outscore the overall, and they outscored in level 3 by twice as much. English 2, these are our current juniors. And you can see again that our Quad C students outscored the overall 11th graders, and level 3 they also were very close to the same in level 3 compared to even the pre-AP. Our biology scores, these are current 10th graders again, they were very close in level 3 to the overall. And our semester averages, when you look at our pre-AP versus Quad C, and what's interesting to note here is the World Geography pre-AP were very close in scoring the same as the pre-AP. This is really significant because these students historically would not have taken the pre-AP and the AP track. So this is good news to see that they're holding their own. Second semester averages, these are our current 10th graders. So last year in 9th grade, they scored very, very close to the pre-AP. And again, our final averages, pre-AP versus Quad C. What's interesting to note here again is the World Geography pre-AP. And then our current 11th graders, this year, as the classes get harder, They're needing more support, and so we are seeing some areas where we're needing to support them. But again, compared to pre-AP, historically these students would not have even taken these classes. And so that's really important to note that they are being supported and they're succeeding.
So moving on to Cedar Creek, again, I don't want to read all these graphs to you, but we do want to just go ahead and provide you with the information. There is no pre-AP Algebra 1, so these students are being compared to the overall student population who took Algebra 1 star. For English 1, our pre-AP students did very well, but you can see that with 82% passing level 2, our Quad C students did outperform our on-level students both in level 2 and level 3. Same thing here with the STAR EOC for English 2. Quad C students did outperform our on-level students and are very, very close to our pre-AP kiddos. Biology, you can't argue with 100%, so I'm pretty happy about that. Semester 1 averages, our Quad C students did outscore our pre-AP students as far as these are their grade averages. Doing very well. We do provide them, like Ms. Wysocki said, with extra support. Same thing for the second semester of last year. These are our current sophomores. So these were the classes that they took as freshmen. And these were their final averages. Semester 1 averages for our students who are current juniors, showing they did really quite well. And I do want to point out the AP World History. That is a full AP class, not just the pre-AP class. So our students did very well in there. They also did well on the AP test. And then our final averages right there, those AP World History kiddos did phenomenally well. So I want to talk just a minute about our ACC courses. Last spring, our students went and did a very challenging, very rigorous work to pass that TSI test so that they would be college ready to take those ACC courses last summer. BHS had 11 students earn their 6 college credit college hours, and CCHS had 14. All of our 11th graders on both campuses now are college ready and currently sitting in ACC classes. This spring, our sophomores will go through the TSI prep and take that TSI test so that they will be college ready for their summer courses. Right now in our college ACC classes, the kiddos take class Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and on Tuesdays and Thursdays we have structured study hall for them to help them, and also it helps because that ACC US history class is also a STAR tested subject, and they're working with ACC professors. So we want to be sure that we're nurturing them and kind of filling in blanks if and as we need to on those Tuesdays and Thursdays so that they perform well on the STAR test in the spring. And again, as I said before, we do offer the TSI prep and the SAT prep. Our juniors, Ms. Polly was very gracious in hearing us when we said that some of our students struggle with transportation and having, coming up on Saturdays for the Saturday SAT prep, and she was very gracious and has allowed us to teach that SAT class actually during their class time because we do offer that. So that's been, they'll start that in the spring.
So along with their ACC classes, as those of you who have college-age students or had college-age students know that the textbooks can be quite expensive. And so at this time, we wanted to recognize our BEF grant members on the board for awarding us a $5,000 grant to each campus. So we wanted to thank you so much. We have a little token of our appreciation from our students to you that we wanted to present to you, if I may. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, it really is a expense that some parents and some families just can't afford, so that's really helpful. And we're looking again to write another grant for next year, so be looking for that, yeah. Okay, so program impact, what better way to share the program impact than to have a few students talk to you? So for our ending, our closure, we have a short video for you that our campuses got together and collaborated on, and we have a couple of students talking about what Quad C has meant to them.
Talk to God, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up, you can weep and cry. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks. You can be a master, don't wait for luck. Anything is open, you can find yourself.
Quad C is important to me because it lets me have the opportunity to gain 36 college credit hours along with a Quad C class period to help me with my homework, etc. Quad C also lets me have the proper amount of experience in college, so that way when the time comes, I will know what to expect for. Finally, Quad C lets me be first one out of my whole family. After I graduate high school, I'm going straight to college.
Gracias. I'm a sophomore here at Cedar Creek High School, and these are the reasons why I love Quad C. Quad C has opened the doors to college learner. Quad C has given me a challenge in school by putting me in all PAP classes, and Quad C gives me college credits that will be very helpful in the future.
Liz, you mentioned, and Tammy did also, about the fact that many of these students would not have gone and taken the pre-AP track. And what is the percentage of low SES or economically disadvantaged students in the two programs? Do you have that?
I can tell you that in my program, I have 51 students, and 47 of them are economically disadvantaged. Yes, sir. But I can also say that 3 of my juniors are in the top 10%.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So, yay.
That's awesome. And we're confident.
Similar, very high percentage. And that's the thing. And the neat thing about doing this tonight is we just got finished being interviewed by KLRU, public television station over at Circa. And we talked about the fact that Quad C was a precursor to Circa. In fact, we would not, I believe we would not have been designated by TEA as an early college high school site had it not been for the Quad C program and what we're doing already on those two campuses. So we applaud you and applaud all the teachers, and most importantly, applaud the students for the work that they're doing at Quad C. Y'all are doing an outstanding job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I'd also report to the board, I don't have the exact numbers, I don't think Martin's in here, but I know they're going to take the test again this coming week before Thanksgiving holiday starts, and we are about 65%, I believe, or higher of our freshmen, and I'll repeat, our freshmen who are TSI ready. They're ready for their ACC college coursework and are eligible to take ACC college courses in their freshman fall semester. So it's outstanding.
Great job. Moving on down the agenda, we are going to get to the consent. If anybody wouldn't like to pull anything from the consent agenda, we will entertain a motion for approval.
Make a motion for approval.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda for A through E. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? Say no. The motion carries. We will quickly move to action items. Ms. Nancy Roll.
So I think you have before you yourselves, and you met with Janie last week in the pre-board meeting to look at the revisions to TASB policy FM local regarding the exemptions. Does anybody have a question? Does anyone? Nope. Then I would recommend the board approve the revisions to the TASB policy FM local as presented.
Second. Been moved and seconded to approve the revision to TASB policy FM local as presented. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Then we'll move on to C, item C. Mr. Gideon.
Thank you, Mr. Allen, Mr. Murray, members of the board. You have before you a resolution of the Board of Trustees for the Bastrop Independent School District authorizing the sale of real property in Page, Texas. This would be the final document pending the title outcome for closing that sale. And it would also authorize Mr. Allen on your behalf, on behalf of the voters, to sign at closing. And I recommend that the board follow suit on this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the resolution of the Board of Trustees, Bastrop Independent School District, authorizing the sale of the real property in Page as presented by Mr. Gideon.
Thank you very much. Oh, I'm sorry.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Gideon.
Thank you very much.
Next action item D. Mr. Murray?
Mr. Allen, it's my recommendation at this time that we not go forward with naming rights proposal for Memorial Stadium.
Okay, we'll entertain a motion.
I so move.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded to not move forward on naming rights for Bastrop Memorial Stadium. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Motion carries. We'll look down at information items. Before we go into closed session, I just want to tell everybody thank you for coming to our November meeting. If you're not out when we get back, I want to wish everybody a very safe and happy Thanksgiving. But if you want to stay, please stay, because we'll be back. So we're going to convene into closed session to discuss the items posted on our agenda as allowed by Texas Government Code, Chapter 551.07 and 551.072, a real property discussion. It is now 7:47, and we'll reconvene into open session and take action resulting from closed session.
I move that we authorize the superintendent to enter into an interlocal agreement on behalf of BISD, subject to our attorney's review and approval.
I'll second that.
It's moved and seconded to have Steve Murray review the interlocal agreement and have the attorneys look at it, and he can take action. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President, I'm going to abstain from the vote.
All right. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Just one question.
Yes, sir.
Do we need to list the other partners in the interlocal agreement? Or is it just go?
I think we'll go with that, and we'll let Steve decide that when he talks to our counsel. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. 5 ayes, 1 abstain. Right?
Yeah,
5 ayes, 1 abstain.
that's right.
Okay. Other than that, thank you for hanging around, the folks that hung around. I think it's supper time.
Motion we adjourn.
Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody.